What's up, you guys? We're back with some more NFL picks this week. This is week 10, Beat the Odds NFL edition on OddsChecker. Before we get started, as always, guys, how did we do last week?
Hey, good. We're starting to rally this second half of the year. We went 4-1, or I'm sorry, 3-1 last week for one of my own little super contests. That's why I keep saying that. And I got the pick of the week, which was the Chargers, -2.5. Ended up going off as a pick 'em, I believe. But I got them -2.5. They kicked the field goal. We move on. We live to play another day. So let's hopefully we can keep it going.
I went 2-2. I lucked out with the half point with the Chargers too. Derek Carr throwing the pick six off of the bye week didn't really help me. Them losing to the Giants. I mean, we saw the Bills lose to Jacksonville. My whole thought was, the Raiders might actually be the most talented team in the AFC. I still think that might be the case, but the AFC isn't doing any help for themselves when their best team might have just lost to the New York Giants, who have no chance to make the playoffs. So
it's like college football conference wins. Like now we're gonna get into bowl season.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to rank if they didn't play nobody, Paul.
All right, well, let's get into it. What do you guys have for us this week? And then, at the end of our videos, as always, we'll do our picks of the week.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to start us off with a team that I've been pretty high on. I think, Katelyn, you'll be happy to hear this as well. I'm going to go with the Patriots -2 hosting the Browns. I do think this Browns team is improving more as than the fact that they're getting healthier than anything, which is huge. I do think this Patriots team can handle what the Browns' strengths are, which is their D-line. They have a pretty sound defense, and then offensively, of course, is running the ball. I do think this Patriots defense matches up decently against that. I think this is more of an even matchup and all of a sudden we have Patriots at home, and it's under -3, and it's -2 right now, so I'm going to take them. I'm going to take that extra point when I can get it.
I'm on the opposite side of this.
I know.
Yeah,
I don't blame you on this. Yeah.
So Cleveland, it seems like Baker's a little bit healthier than he has been, which is a huge bonus, right? We had like that 2-week stretch where it was like, what the heck is going on with Baker Mayfield? And then we realized, oh yeah, his shoulder's all messed up. Is New England going to be able to get enough explosives to keep up with Cleveland? Because that's my worry, right? I mean, Baker now, OBJ is out. And like Donovan Peoples-Jones looks like he's going to be a superstar now, right? He's catching bombs. I haven't seen
by DPJ being by Peoples-Jones being more limited. It actually helps their offense because they just go, "You do this," and then it's like actually like help them out a little bit, which is so funny.
I like Cleveland here. It's just offensive firepower. I understand how New England plays. I get like how they can win ball games running the ball. With the guys that they have, even like Ramondre Stevenson, where it's just like that. He's a tough guy to tackle when he's running inside. Mac Jones is going to make the right decisions. He's going to check it down. He's going to throw quick game like he's been in the league for 10 years, right? My big worry is just like they need explosives, and they just don't have enough speed at the skill spots, right? And it doesn't seem like Mac really even wants to throw to his guys deep that they have, and I don't blame him with the speed that they got, but that's something that would worry me in this game.
That I'm really curious to watch against the Panthers just because of what the Panthers do on defense. So like that film, I'm like really curious to watch this week. I have seen Mac pushing it a little bit, but I agree with you. That's what this offense is going to be. It could be like very methodical. It's like, no, just push it, somebody.
But Nate, I appreciate what you said about the Patriots. But I'm with Justis on this one. It sucks. Justis.
Oh my goodness. Oh no. I thought I was gonna hype you up, and I tried to get around. I was trying to like recruit you to this. I thought it would be an easy sell. My next one, I'll go with one team I grew up as a fan, not anymore, but I'm gonna go with the Vikings +2.5 at the Chargers. And again, this is really, it's one stat that'll never leave my brain, and that is that I'm not even going to say the number, but the Chargers are awful defending the run, and they're awful defending the run out of base personnel. You know what the Vikings like to be in? Base personnel, which is 12, which is a fullback or 2 tight ends. And I just think that's what they're going to lean into. This is a great matchup for this Vikings offense, especially with what they like to do on offense. And I just think, as Justin Herbert, even with the Vikings injuries on defense, they still do some good things. This Chargers offense has, they're trying to figure out what they really want to do. Herbert was awesome yesterday, but it's really we're talking about lack of explosives with the Patriots. That's the Chargers at some points too. So I think this Vikings team is going to hang in there. I think this is even more of an even matchup than we think. I'm going to go with the Vikings plus 2.5.
I am with you on this one. The Chargers simply cannot stop the run. Period. And it looks, the stats look bad. Like you could look up their defensive run game, like DVOA, and they're twice as worse as the next worst team in the league. You watch them on film, they might be worse than their stats. That's
an eye test. That's the thing. It's an eye test, stat test thing right there.
I mean, we just talked about New England, right? And how New England can run inside. We saw New England just keep them off of the field, basically. And then we saw it with Dallas again.
Yep.
The only expectation that we should have coming in with this Vikings game is Dalvin Cook is going to go off. The Vikings just got Dwayne Wu involved in the game last week. I mean, he had 2 explosives for him on specials. It'll be interesting to see if they can get him in on offense. But, they kind of have 3 guys who can make plays. And the Chargers don't have any. I'm actually surprised the Chargers didn't make a trade at the deadline for a defensive tackle, because that's one of the spots that league-wide for a team that is quote-unquote contending or even in the divisional chase, they had so much room for improvement over Jerry Tillery right now. And once draft time comes, I mean, mock drafts, it's just going to be automatic slate defensive tackle to the Los Angeles Rams, because they just can't get off the damn field.
I know. And honestly, it's like you said, it's just so glaring when you watch it. And it's that's why I could just see this Vikings game just going to be all right, there's Cook 4 runs in a row. Then there's Madison for 1. Okay, here's a boot. All right, there's their explosive. And then they're going to just run zone for the next 7 snaps. And I could just see it unfolding already. And I do love Herbert. I do love that. But I just think it's going to be hard for them to contain him this whole game. And you're getting the points with it. My next one, I'm going to go with the Broncos minus 2.5. Hosting the Eagles. And if anyone's watched this show, one of my betting angles so far this year is to bet against the Eagles. This week, it's more, I think this Broncos team, I have no idea what the hell they are. They are going to be very game plan dependent. I think their coaches like to be very game planny on offense. And so if they have a bad matchup, it's not good. If they have a good matchup, we see how it went yesterday, where it's just, what the hell was that? So I think this Eagles team, they're figured out that they like to run the ball, and they're actually pretty good at it, which everybody was telling them the entire season. They finally figured out the last couple of weeks. I think this Broncos defense can actually, they're not great DVOA-wise. They battled some health stuff up front. Now they're getting healthier, so I think that's going to help them. I don't think the Eagles will be able to throw the ball all day against them. And I think this Broncos offense can take care of the ball. It's Teddy Bridgewater, and I think the receivers are getting healthy. Judy had a great day, and I think they contain the Eagles D-line for a whole game. So I'm going to go Broncos minus 2.5 at home too.
So I'm with you on this game.
Oh my God! Did you just all pick the same game?
It's going to be my pick of the week, but I'll give my analysis in right here. Okay. So with Philadelphia, you have to remember this past game was a one-off, again, because they played the Los Angeles Chargers, who cannot stop the run. So the Eagles, a lot of weird things happen week 1, right? I don't think that Falcons-Eagles game plays out the way that it did week 1. Yep. So if we're looking at the Eagles from week 2 on, they have really struggled, especially with this Chargers game kind of being that one-off, right? Yeah. I mean, people were wondering, I do a fantasy show for SB Nation's NFL show on Friday. The amount of Miles Sanders questions we get for every week, where it's Miles Sanders is taking my my fantasy team. They just simply will not run the ball. That might be a Chargers only situation. You know what I mean? Right. Just because it happened against the Chargers doesn't mean it's going to work against the Denver Broncos. Teddy Bridgewater is going to take what he can give you. I really do like Denver in this situation, because Denver is quietly 1 game away from the lead in the AFC West, which includes, the Raiders, who might be the best team in the AFC, the Kansas City Chiefs, who have most efficient quarterback we've ever seen, the Chargers, who, if they had a run game, probably would be a run defense, they would be a contender. And then the Eagles are just sneaking in. This game, I feel I would take this if it were anything less than like Broncos -6. And the fact that it was 2.5 is shocking to me.
I love it. So we'll swap. I'll do the pick of the week, and then you can just do your normal pick after that. Let's just do it that way. All right. My pick of the week, and this is, I believe both teams are coming off a bye. Yeah, they are. I'm going to go with the Bucks -9.5 hosting Washington or at Washington. I just think these teams are 2, maybe even 3 tiers apart at this point in time. This Washington defense, they might fix stuff after the bye. They might not, but they have a lot more holes in that defense outside the front. I think this Bucks team is, especially after that Rams performance yesterday, is like it's probably the top team, or if not top, easily top 3. And I think it's less than 10 points. It's 9.5 at this point in time. Their defense can hang. Washington does some fun stuff on offense, but still Tyler Heineke at quarterback, and he's going to give you 1 or 2. And this Bucks defense will be waiting for that, and they'll limit the run game of Washington if they want to try anything like that. So they're more spready, aren't they? Yeah, the Washington offense. So even being
for sure,
that's fine with the Bucks.
they're gonna blitz the hell out of them. Yeah. No one watches Washington, and I don't blame you for not watching Washington. But they're like pretty like. Everyone talks about Arizona kind of being like the spread team in the NFL. Washington is as spread as that. The Packers got.
They have to be. They're just trying to help themselves.
Yeah, I mean, the one reason that the Packers defenses look decent against these spread teams is they got them all in a row, right?
Yeah.
They got Washington, they got Arizona, and they got Kansas City. 3 straight weeks. It's like they've been playing the same offense. They have very different quarterbacks. Yeah. But in terms of how they line up, it's the same team basically.
This is just copy and paste their film their game plan for every week. That's funny. But yeah, I know with Bucks -9.5, I think this team coming out of the bye, they're getting healthier, and we got to remember that they're like one of, if not the top Super Bowl contender at this point in time. So we should be treating them like that.
All right. Well, you guys are going to like my pick of the week this week. I'm going against Justis and Nate this week. I'm choosing the Chargers -2.5.
Yes.
Last night's game, it was an interesting game. It was a nail biter. But the Chargers, they came out and won. The Eagles and the Chargers both put up a good fight last night's game. And the Chargers are looking a lot better than they did last week. And Herbert's shown a lot of improvement, too, since last week. The Vikings, I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. They've been disappointing this season. So I'm taking Chargers -2.5 this week against Nate and Justis. May the best better win.
I know now I don't know what to feel. I think this is our first time we've had this. So this is great. You're on a hot streak in the college show. So I don't know if I want to be on this side now.
Yeah, don't be so selfish. I need the win. I've got 2-2, like 3 straight weeks in a row. My last pick, again, my pick of the week was Denver. We already touched that a little bit.
Yeah.
Kansas City at the Las Vegas Raiders +2.5. One thing that should help, Deshaun Jackson getting in there. Obviously, Henry Ruggs was kind of their speed threat. The fact that Deshaun Jackson could get in there and become that, I do think helps open up that offense. I don't think that Zay Jones can kind of replicate what Ruggs brought onto the field. With that being said, again, that Raiders-Giants game was very weird, especially coming off of a bye for the Raiders. You're throwing a pick six. That was kind of the deciding factor for the game. They probably win that. Just very weird. I still think that this Raiders
dreams about this pick six. This is just so
I lost so much money on this damn pick six. I don't even want to think about it anymore. But yeah, I mean the Raiders were one of my picks last week too. So I just can't quit these
dreams.
Yeah. So I really do think that the Raiders, in terms of talent all around on the team, they are the most talented team in the AFC. Period. I really do believe that. I understand their secondary has its issues, but they still to this day. I mean, we saw it 2 weeks into the season. We were wondering, okay, they have the best pass rushing duo on paper. How consistent is this going to be? Well, it's November 8th. They still have the best pass rushing duo in the league in terms of their production. And really, they just send 4. They drop everyone back into coverage. So it's not like these guys who are kind of liabilities in the secondary are one-on-one. They always have some sort of help, at least if nothing else, around them. Kansas City is not an impressive football team. They get one drive. They look like they're
awesome. They fix
operating.
everything for that. They fix everything on that one drive.
The last 2 weeks, the Giants game and the Packers game, you get the one game in the script, and then they're like, all right, we scored a touchdown. Patrick Mahomes hero ball. The Chiefs
go right back to what we do.
Twice after the first drive against a banged-up Green Bay Packers team that ended up having their fifth and sixth defensive tackle on the field at the end of the game because Kenny Clark was hurt, Dean Lowry was on a pitch count, all that stuff. Eric Stokes, their first-round cornerback, jumped up for a ball in pregame, came down weird on his ankle, was out. Jair Alexander was already out. So, like, this defense was decimated. They got 2 scoring drives after that first drive. One of them was a 25-yard drive for a field goal. One of them was a 4-yard drive for a field goal because the punt returner muffed the punt, and it was bad. Basically, this Chiefs team cannot move down the field anymore. Like, this Patrick Mahomes hero ball stuff doesn't work. And Tyreek Hill got targeted last week. It was like 11 targets for like 37 yards, and most of them came on the last play of the game, the actual offensive play of the game. So, like, this offense is still sputtering. Like, just because they beat Jordan Love in his first start ever, going into Arrowhead when they've had the worst, like, special teams performance anyone has seen in modern football, doesn't mean the Chiefs are back. Why are they favorites on the road against the Raiders? The Raiders are the best team in the AFC, I think.
Well, here, let's see it this week. No, I'm with you. This Chiefs offense got more issues than I think we even realized. It's just I'm fascinated to watch it because that's what it is. It's like they run those first 10, 15 plays. It looks great. It looks all solved, and then they just panic. So they can't keep it up. They need a bye week so bad.
All right, well, that's it for this week, week 10 on Beat the Odds NFL edition on OddsChecker. We will catch you guys next week.